Okay, hello out there in intercompany transaction sales of inventory, land, or building depreciable assets. Tonight we're going to cover question 6, 7, 8, and 9 on the Chapter 5 Land and Fixed Assets PDF file in your modules. I know this is extremely exciting, so you might want to pause for a minute and get yourself something to relax the nerves before we continue on. After that, let's get started, and here's what you do. You read the problem and then take another break for a couple days, then come back and solve the problem. That's maybe a good idea. At any rate, let's go through how this works, which is we have to first figure out what's going on. And what's going on is to take a look at the facts. We got a intercompany sale between, look at these names, these are great names, Sky, the parent, and Earth, the subsidiary. What a fantastically creative situation this is. And the particular asset sale occurs in the middle of the year, and that's what you got to watch out for, because that's going to make a little bit of a difference. I'm going to use the 7108. The problem has it at X8, but I'm going to use 08, same idea. July 1st sale. The sale was for $33,000. So let's keep that in the back of our mind, which means, and this is a downstream, you have to see which way it goes. It's a downstream sale. Sky sells to Earth. So Earth is going to wind up on its books recording the building at $33,000 on this particular date. That's step number one. Step number two is to find out at the time of sale, what did Sky have on its books for this particular depreciable asset. So now we go back and we see that Sky bought the asset for $36,000. Notice these lovely colors. $36,000 on 1106, 2.5 years earlier. Now, 2.5 years later, what's the basis of this particular depreciable asset? This is pure, simple, unadulterated, intermediate accounting 1, and what we're going to do is figure out what the books and records did. Well, we're told that it had an original 8-year life, so the depreciation will turn out to be over 8 years. It will be $4,500 per year. Again, this is a colorful problem, you can tell. $4,500 per year will be the depreciation, which will leave it at, and watch this color change here, presto, presto, in red, we're going to wind up, if you do the math, 2.5 years of depreciation will leave this building with a book value of $24,750. To prove it, take 2 years of depreciation at $4,500, that's $9,000, another half year at $2,250, total between $9,000 and $2,250, which is a half year depreciation, is $11,250 of depreciation. Subtract $11,250 of depreciation from $36,000, and voila, you get $24,750. That'll be the carrying value or book value at the time of the sale. That means at the time of the sale, Sky recorded this with a gain of, and you'll just love the way we do the colors here now. The gain would have been recorded. The sale was for $33,000, so $33,000 sale would yield a $57,750 gain, which means I did something wrong on my calculator, so let's go back and do it again. $33,000 was the sale price. On books of Sky we're talking about now, they had a book value of $24,750, so it means that Sky would have recorded a gain of $8,250. Just then the differences between the $33,000 sale price and the book value. There you go, that's the gain that would have been recorded. Now, having said all this, let's just say one more fact, and that is on the books of Earth, by the way, we just discovered all the journal entries going on during the 2.5 years before the sale on the books of Sky. Now we just want to see what Earth is going to do with all this. Earth is going to have bought it at $33,000 as of that July 108 time period, and it's going to depreciate it over the remaining life. The problem lets us know that there's no change in the estimated life. The remaining life is simply, we had 8 years originally, we did 2.5, so we got 5.5 years to go, so the remaining life over here will be 5.5 years, and the depreciation on Earth's books will be $6,000 per year. Remember, they have it starting at a new price on their books 33, and that's got to get depreciated down to 0 because there's no salvage value, and 33,000 over 5.5 years yields a depreciable amount per year of 6,000. Okay, that gives us all the facts. Now that we know, and the facts that we got, just so you'll be clear, the facts that we just got are the facts of what's going on each company's books, so that when we go to consolidate the books, we can follow the general principle, which we'll state in 1 second. But again, what we've done is we figured out what the books show on each side for these before the transaction and after the transaction. So we have and then since we know that, we actually know what it would have looked like if we wanted to. We could continue to do the books of sky, and we continue to do the books of earth as if the transaction never happened, because that's the theory. When we get to now putting the two books and records together to consolidate, we want to act like, and there's a cymbals and drum roll and an xylophone going on in the background right now. Oh, a bass drum, I hear it. Timpani, did I say triangle? If not, there it is. Wood block, it's all going in the percussion session. And the answer to the theory is we want to act like the transaction, I wish I had echo effect to this, never happened. That's how the consolidated should work out, that this never happened. And that's how these problems are going to work out to be answering consolidation issues. What is it that never happened? Okay, so let's go to the actual problem. I think we can now answer these one by one pretty quickly. And the first one is number 6, which asks us for us. Number 6 on the worksheet asks us, well, what, based on the information, in the year 2008, in that year, they want to know what entry for a consolidation elimination entry will we be making to the building asset, the actual asset itself. And this building asset is the historical cost building asset, as opposed to a net or accumulated depreciation. This is the historical cost. So what entry will we be making to building on the consolidated work papers? And again, if we're going to act like it never happened, let's do the sort of rough concept of what the T accounts would look like. I'm not going to make actual T accounts, but just to give you a rough idea. On Sky's books, the historical cost was 36. On Earth, it was 33. It almost sounds like a science fiction story occurring. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that the building is going to be at 36 as if the sale never happened. Happened. Oh, I forgot the echo effect there. Okay, so what we're going to be doing and looking at or expecting to see is a debit for $3,000 to building in the consolidation entry column, and that's exactly answer D. So that's because that's where it says debit for $3,000, and you can sort of see clearly that that's what you got to do to get back as if it never happened. Okay, question 7 is asking for what gain will be eliminated in the year 08. Well, we already know that because we set it up very well already to say what the Sky's books showed as a gain. And that gain will not remain on the consolidation. That's why the question asks, what will you eliminate as the gain? Because we can't leave the gain on there. We have to act like this. Oh, I won't do it again because there'll be an echo. So we have to act like it never happened. All right, and so the gain that we saw that Sky recorded was $8,250, and that's answer A. And now we've accomplished number 7. All right, moving on. Number 8 on that hit parade there was asking for, when you're preparing the 08 consolidated income statement, depreciation expense will be, and they're actually looking to see what you're going to do to depreciation expense to eliminate the difference between the depreciation that is now on the books of Earth, but we want to go back to the depreciation as if it never happened. So we want the depreciation to be what it would have been on Sky's books. So we have this problem, this particular question is on a half-year situation. So on what you have to first figure out is what does each company have, meaning the now, so you can go back to the before. All right, so let's do it this way. In this color, we're going to illustrate what it is, on the books now. Remember, Sky had it for half year, so they would have recorded 2250 in depreciation because they had it for half year. And Earth, and what's that? That's half of the 4500 that they were using. If you want to know where that came from, that's what they were using. Earth would have recorded 3000 because they only had it for half a year. They are going to depreciate it for 6, but that's on a full year. So now you can see that the full amount of depreciation between the two books will be the combination of these two, but there's a difference, meaning that for half a year, the Earth Company is depreciating it for $750 more than it should be for half a year. Let me say that again so that I understand what I said. The Sky's books would have recorded $2250, Earth would have recorded $3,000, which would have given a total for the year. This may be a better way of saying it. The total of the year between the two books before the elimination will be these combined, which is $5,250. But it should have been, let's add some color to this, it should have been just $4,500. The should have been is based on as if the sale never happened. It would have been, scratching the surface of the whiteboard here, $4,500. The difference being $750, and that turns out to be our answer. And which way do we have to go? We need to reduce depreciation. We can see that clearly. This is what the depreciation is without an elimination entry. We want to get here, so we got to reduce depreciation, which means credit. Back to the old accounting 101, credit that depreciation, and indeed that is the answer in number 8. C, credit the depreciation for $750 in the consolidating entries. All right, we're on a real roll, and we're only taking about 20 minutes longer for this problem than we should, but we're doing, I'm having too much fun, so I don't want it to end. And the next question is asking, what do you do for depreciation for 09? And so it's the same concept. What was the depreciation, or what would have been the depreciation on Sky's books? Well, we already now know it's $4,500 per year. That's for, now we're talking about full year, and on 09 for Earth in the green color, and that makes good sense. And that would have been 6,000. And you can go back, rewind the tape if you need to see the difference. And that difference now is 1,500. And voila, again, we're going to need to reduce depreciation. So we're going to credit depreciation for 1,500. Answer B. And that is it. And we only took a half hour longer than we needed to. And so on that note, we'll stop it here. But you can send questions. For each question you send, please send $5, and we'll send the answer back in a Federal Express envelope. Okay, thanks.